Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India-US inked deal for procurement of 31 MQ-9B Predator drones aimed at enhancing India's operational readiness and military strength. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India is the world's second largest 5G telecom market and is now working on 6G, inaugurates International Telecommunication Union in New Delhi. First time in nearly 9 years, India's Foreign Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is in Pakistan to attend the SCO Summit in Islamabad. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu tells US President Joe Biden that Israel will not hit Iranian nuclear energy sites as West Asia remains on high alert. India inked a deal to acquire 31 Predator drones from the United States. India's Ministry of Defense on Tuesday inked a contract with the US government for tri-service procurement of 31 MQ-9B Sky Sea Guardian high-altitude, long-endurance, remote pilot aircraft system. Another contract has been signed with the General Atomics Global India Private Limited for performance-based logistics for these remote pilot aircraft system through depot-level maintenance, repair and overhaul in India. The contracts were inked in the presence of Defence Secretary in New Delhi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the International Telecommunication Union World Telecommunication Standardization Assembly in India's capital New Delhi today. Speaking on the occasion, the Indian Prime Minister highlighted the country's digital vision, working on 4 pillars: cheaper devices, connectivity reaching all corners, affordable data and digital first.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly 2024 at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. Prime Minister Modi also launched the 8th edition of the India Mobile Congress 2024, showcasing India's progress in the world of technology. Addressing the gathering, the Indian Prime Minister said that India's mobile and telecom trajectory in the 21st century serves as a remarkable case study for the world.
2014 में भारत में सिर्फ 2 मोबाइल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट थी, आज 200 से ज्यादा है। पहले हम ज्यादातर फोन बाहर से इंपोर्ट करते थे, आज हम पहले से 6 गुना ज्यादा मोबाइल फोन भारत में बना रहे हैं। हमारी पहचान एक मोबाइल एक्सपोर्टर देश की है और हम इतने पर ही नहीं रुके हैं। अब हम चिप से लेकर फिनिश प्रोडक्ट तक दुनिया को एक कंप्लीट मेड इन इंडिया फोन देने में जुटे हैं।
World Telecommunication Standardization Assembly 2024 is the game changer in more ways than one. It provides a powerful platform for global collaboration besides shaping future standards in next-generation technologies like artificial intelligence, big data and cyber security. PM Modi stressed that world should adapt global framework to fight against the cyber threats.
भारत हजारों वर्षों से वसुधैव कुटुंबकम के हमें अमर संदेश को जीता रहा है। हमें G20 का नेतृत्व करने का अवसर मिला, तब भी हमने वन अर्थ, वन फैमिली, वन फ्यूचर का ही संदेश दिया। भारत दुनिया को कॉन्फ्लिक्ट से बाहर निकालकर कनेक्ट करने में ही जुटा है। प्राचीन सिल्क रूट से लेकर आज के टेक्नोलॉजी रूट तक भारत का हमेशा एक ही मिशन रहा है, दुनिया को कनेक्ट करना और प्रगति के नए रास्ते खोलना।
Earlier, PM visited an exhibition featuring India's leading companies and startups showcasing groundbreaking innovations in AI, 6G, IoT, and more. This landmark global conference, held every 4 years, has drawn over 3,000 industry leaders, policymakers, and technology experts from more than 190 countries.
This event offers Indian startups and research institutions a golden opportunity to gain critical insight into the intellectual property rights and standard essential patents, paving the way for new technological breakthroughs. India is not just witnessing the future, India is leading it. With camera person Aniket, this is Tapush Bhattacharya for DD India from Delhi.
Exhibitors and startups talk about their services at ITU World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly 2024 in New Delhi. Take a look.
Inside that Startup India portal itself, we have the opportunity to get connected to the vendors, participate in the event like this, meet like-minded people, do the networking, and explore the opportunities.
We in India are trying to make something which is completely made in India and providing the best solution that you can have. So we are reducing the cost of AI companies by 50% and still providing a better solution. Currently, students like me who are in their college are trying their best to get into startup instead of working in the big companies.
Today, I had the opportunity to present our solutions to the PM, Shri Narendra Modi. It was a big moment for us to explain our chips and Atmanirbhar solutions that we are building.
Today, the startup is taking a boom in India, all thanks to our Prime Minister Mr. Modi's vision and mission to make it possible.
Addressing the ITU World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly, India's Minister of Communications, Jyotiraditya Scindia, said that India will lead the world in the adoption of 6G. Scindia further emphasized that India is now prepared to lead the world in the development of 6G technology. He emphasized India's commitment to becoming a global leader in this technology.
Today, by mid of next year, we will have rolled out 4G across the length and breadth of India. 100% saturation will be completed. We've had the fastest 5G rollout in India, 450,000 BTSs, 98% of districts covered, 90% of all villages covered, in a span of only 21 months. With our Bharat 6G Alliance, where we hope to contribute at least 10% of patents to 6G standardization, it is our belief and our commitment that India followed the world in 4G. We marched with the world in 5G, but we shall lead the world in 6G.
Addressing the event, the chairman of Reliance Jio, Akash Ambani, said that there is an unusual synergy between government and industry to deliver world-class services to satisfy the needs and expectations of 1.45 billion Indians.
Because of your encouragement to the industry and innovation, India has been digitally transformed by perhaps the biggest digital revolution in history. In New India, in Modi ji's India, there's no more business as usual. Rather, there's unusual synergy between government and industry to deliver world-class services to satisfy the needs and expectations of 1.45 billion Indians. As a representative of Young India, I thank you for your incredible connection with the youth and for inspiring us to pursue impossible-looking goals. As we say in Hindi, Modi hai to mumkin hai.
India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has reached Islamabad to attend the Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting. This is the first high-level visit from India in years amid the continuing strain in ties between the two neighbours. The 23rd meeting of the SCO Council of Heads of Government will be held on Wednesday in Islamabad under the chairmanship of Pakistan. The annual meeting focuses on the trade and economic agenda of the organisation. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will represent India at the meeting. India remains actively engaged in the SCO format, including various mechanisms and initiatives within the SCO framework. India's President Draupadi Murmu was accorded the honorary doctorate by the university in Algeria on Tuesday during the first leg of a three-nation visit. The President visited the Sidi Abdallah Science and Technology Pole, which is a hub of universities, where she was accorded the honorary doctorate. Inaugurated in May this year, the hub spans 87 hectares and is poised to become a premier centre for advanced technological education in Algeria.
This is an honor for my country more than for me as an individual. It is an honor you are bestowing on a country, citizen and the culture that has been an ardent and consistent champion of peace and education since time immemorial.
India has rejected the claims of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and other officials about presenting credible evidence to New Delhi. Sources on Tuesday said that Canada's approach since the beginning has been to make vague accusations and put the burden of denial on India. Sources further said that Trudeau, during the press conference, was saying the same old things for the same old reasons. According to Indian sources, no specifics regarding the connection of certain individuals to India were provided. Sources termed it absurd that the Canadian government, after intensively engaging the High Commissioner over the last year, has now chosen to target him. The Election Commission of India has announced the schedule for assembly elections that are to be held in the western Indian states of Maharashtra and eastern India's Jharkhand. Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar announced that the western Indian state of Maharashtra assembly elections will take place on November 20th this year. The eastern Indian state of Jharkhand will go to assembly polls simultaneously in two phases. The first phase will take place on November 13th and the second phase on November 20th. There will also be a by-election held in Wayanad on November 13th, and the results for all these will be announced on November 23rd.
For Maharashtra, this will be in single phase. The notifications, date of notifications are in front of you. 22nd October would be date of notification. Last date of making nomination would be 29th October. Scrutiny on 30th October. And last date for withdrawal 4th, and date of poll in Maharashtra would be 20th 11. Counting would be on 23rd 11/24. Jharkhand would be in two phases. The date of poll, first phase would be on, date of poll would be on 13th November, and the second phase would be along with Maharashtra on 20th November. So the date of issue of notification for Jharkhand phase 1 would be 18th, and for phase 2 would be 22nd along with Maharashtra. Nominations for phase 1 would be till 25th of October, and for phase 2 29th. This slide we will share with everyone. And date of poll would be 13th November and 20th November, both Wednesdays. And date of counting would be 23rd 11, that is Saturday.
Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. China urges Philippines to respect its territorial sovereignty and maritime rights in the South China Sea. And North Korea blows up parts of inter-Korean roads near its border.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Tanvi Taneja. On to the United States. Former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris campaigned in Pennsylvania, one of the 7 key U.S. swing states. During a campaign stop at Erie, Harris slammed Trump for his ominous comments about the enemy within and the threat to deploy the military domestically. Recent polls show Trump and Harris are neck and neck in the 7 swing states. These are Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, and North Carolina.
Donald Trump, I think in our collective opinion, certainly mine, is an unserious man. But the consequences of him ever being president again are brutally serious. Donald Trump is increasingly unstable and unhinged. And he is out for unchecked power. That's what he's looking for.
Donald Trump also hit the trail in the state with a town hall outside Philadelphia. Earlier in an interview, Trump discussed his concerns about the upcoming election day and his potential second term. Trump dismissed Biden's awareness and emphasized that the real threat comes from within the country.
I think the bigger problem is the enemy from within, not even the people that have come in and destroying our country. By the way, totally destroying our country. The towns, the villages, they're being inundated. But I don't think they're the problem in terms of election day. I think the bigger problem are the people from within. We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military, because they can't let that happen.
Tensions escalated on the Korean peninsula after North Korea blew up parts of road of military demarcation line dividing the 2 Koreas. The northern parts of the roads and rail lines connected to the south were blown up. The explosions did not cause any damage on Seoul's side of the border. In response, South Korea's military fired warning shots near the heavily fortified border with the north. This comes at a time when the North has accused its neighbor of sending drones over the country's capital, Pyongyang. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un had overseen a meeting on Monday to discuss a response to the enemy's serious provocation that violated the sovereignty of North Korea. The Taiwanese Defense Ministry said on Tuesday that it spotted a record number of 153 Chinese military aircraft participating in China's war games around the island one day ago. China described the one-day drill as a warning against separatist acts after a National Day speech last week by Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te was denounced by Beijing. China on Monday sanctioned Taiwanese businessman Robert Tsao and lawmaker Puma Shen for alleged criminal and pro-Taiwan independence activities. In a statement, the Taiwan Affairs Office said that the Black Bear Academy that both men were associated with was seeking to incite separatism that would endanger cross-strait ties. China's foreign ministry on Tuesday accused a Philippine ship of sailing dangerously in waters under China's jurisdiction and that it seriously threatened Chinese fishing boats in the disputed South China Sea. In a statement issued late on Monday, the Philippines Bureau of Fisheries said that a Chinese maritime militia boat had deliberately sideswiped one of its 2 vessels that were patrolling near Thitu Island in the contested waters on Friday. China and the Philippines have been at loggerheads over maritime claims. The Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague ruled in 2016 that China's sweeping claims were not supported by international law, a decision Beijing refuses to recognize. On to West Asia now. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said on Tuesday that Israel, not the United States, will decide how it will strike back after Iran fired around 200 missiles at his country earlier this month. Israel has vowed to respond to the attack. Meanwhile, the Biden administration has warned Israel against striking Iran's nuclear or oil facilities in order to avoid a broader conflict. For decades, the Club of Rome has warned that the world is heading towards an environmental collapse. But the think tank has not just issued warnings, but also policy ideas. In its latest report, the group is looking at what Germany can do to better fight climate change and what it would do to the German economy. Lars Holter is with Deutsche Welle and joins me from Berlin now. Lars, what are the findings here in this report?
Thanks for having me. Well, there's a lot. The report is out as a book and it clocks in at a hefty 280 pages. So it's quite a read. The general thesis the experts have held for decades: climate change and depletion of resources can only be stopped by implementing thorough changes in terms of the economy and society. Now, that sounds obvious, but if you look at what the world has actually done and achieved so far in terms of fighting climate change, it seems that most changes have just not been thorough or radical enough, when in fact the world might need entirely new ideas and not just tweaks to old ideas. So to look at some topics the Club of Rome is touching on, they see a better future with the end of poverty, more equality, empowerment of women, and here's that focus on the climate, a move towards ecological friendly food and nutrition concepts, as well as, of course, clean energy. Especially looking at that last factor, clean energy, the experts say that most of the work still awaits us, even though Germany and many other countries indeed have invested in switching from fossil to renewable energy sources. We're not even halfway where we need society to be.
Okay, Lars, to take a step back, what exactly is the Club of Rome anyway?
Yeah, they are a non-for-profit group made up of about 100 scientists, economists, businessmen. The group discusses global problems and they share a lack of confidence that the problems faced by the world could be solved by development and technological progress. In 1972, the group first warned of the limits of growth, suggesting that economic growth could not continue indefinitely because of resource depletion. And the oil crisis 1 year later kind of proved that point. The group has often pointed out the lopsided effects of climate change and inequality, arguing that those causing the most damage usually are not the ones paying the price. In other words, poor people within one country or around the world are likely not driving much and flying around the world having a large carbon footprint, but they are the ones living in densely populated places dealing with pollution and rising temperatures. And it's this kind of inequality and injustice that the group is advocating to tackle.
Thank you, Lars, for that update. Now, let's take a look at stories making news around the world. Malaysia welcomed 2 German naval vessels at Port Klang on Tuesday, highlighting Germany's increasing presence in the Indo-Pacific amid rising South China Sea tensions. As part of the 3-day state visit to France, Belgian King Philippe celebrated Franco-Belgian friendship with French President Emmanuel Macron in front of more than 100 guests at the Élysée Palace in Paris. And time now for some sporting action. The Secretary General of the National Rifle Association of India, Kunwar Sultan Singh, on Tuesday said that India is constantly growing in the sport of shooting. In an exclusive conversation with DD India's Narayan Singh, Kunwar Sultan Singh stated that due to the perseverance of the players and facilities provided by the government, the athletes are excelling in the sport of shooting.
Indian shooters are dominating the world shooting arenas. And right now I am joined by Kunwar Sultan Singh, the Secretary General of the National Rifle Association of India. Sir, a very warm welcome. The dominance of the Indian shooter is continuous, the way they are performing at the world level. So what are the reasons that our shooters, whether it is Olympics, whether it is World Cup or any other mega event, they are dominating?
Well, they are dominating is because of their perseverance, their focus and the training structure that has been provided to them with the support setup. So you see, this is the nursery of our shooters, which is coming up to the next flank after graduating too. And today is a very congratulatory day for all of us, where Maskar has won us the silver medal as the first day on the competition in the air rifle women's section. And this has been our 6th World Cup final over being we are hosting our. So far as the standard of excellence of our shooters is concerned, shooting sport as a matter of fact has gained a lot of popularity and a lot of passion.
In the since 2017, it's the 6th shooting World Cup that India is hosting, and not only this, not only about shooting, but in other sports too. India in the recent past hosted mega international events, whether it is boxing, whether it is football, whether it is cricket. So, do you think India is like a major potential mega event hub for the world right now?
Certainly, India is becoming a global center for the promotion of sports, not only one sport but all the sports together, and this has been an initiative which has been casted by our Honorable Prime Minister, which is very well supported by the Ministry of Sports and Youth Welfare and their departments like SAI and TOPS. So you see, this is an environment as a whole which has been created by the Government of India, which the national sports federations are taking it up seriously to see that the promotion is done at the grassroots level, as well as at the standard of excellences centers that are being created, so as to take the children from the sub-youth till the masters category and have a sense of positivity, well-beingness and a good sports culture in our country.
National Rifle Association of India is working with SAI, with Government India, and that is also giving results as our shooters are doing exceptionally well, and hoping that in the shooting World Cup also our shooters will excel and win a record number of medals at this edition of the shooting World Cup. With camera person Rahul, Narayan Singh, DD India, Delhi.
So the ISSF Shooting World Cup is currently taking place at the Dr. Karni Singh Shooting Range in Tughlakabad, marking India's Shooting World Cup event in the past 6 years. So with its growing success in organizing major tournaments, India is increasingly being seen as a leading contender for hosting future mega international events. An exclusive report by DD India's Narayan Singh.
India is emerging as a leading destination for global sports events. Under strong leadership, the country is focusing on both sports development and athlete welfare. Recent investments in infrastructure are creating world-class sporting facilities. India has hosted 5 ISSF Shooting World Cups in the past 6 years, including the ongoing event at the Dr. Karni Singh Shooting Range in Tughlakabad. Additionally, the International Shooting Federation has awarded India the hosting rights for the ISSF Junior World Cup next year. This highlights the nation's growing stature in the global sports arena.
Last year we had a very marvelous event of the International Olympic Committee in Mumbai. Thereafter we had our OCA chairman election being held in Delhi, and thereafter various reputed international events taking place in our country time and again. Followed by, as you see, is after the Olympics, this is our first World Cup which has been allocated to us. In the pipeline to train ourselves to host Olympics that we would like to be, which we have kept as the government and everybody in India wants to target 2036 to hold Olympics in our country.
Definitely it will be good for India, because the big competition will come to the country and it will give the boost to economics also, and for the athletes who are at the grassroots level, they will give the competition will give them a very good boost and the motivation to push themselves for preparing themselves the good competitions.
India has successfully hosted events like the Chess Olympiad, FIFA Under-17 World Cups and the Cricket World Cup in the recent years. The government continues to invest in both infrastructure and athlete support programs. India is now eyeing even bigger stages.
India's steady progress in developing the sports infrastructure as well as hosting the international event showcases its ambition to become a global sports hub. In the past, India hosted mega sports events like Under-17, FIFA World Cup, Cricket World Cup, Chess Olympiad, as well as many more events. And now, India is well positioned to attract more prestigious international events. With camera person Rahul Chopra, Narayan Singh, DD India, Delhi.
That's all for this edition of DD India Live. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on our different social media handles at DD India Live. And for those on the go, you can catch all the latest news and updates on our DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. So we will be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja from all of us here in New Delhi. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.